All right, you beautiful bastions of freedom, everyone gather around. We are about to walk through everything that you need to know to continue to pass on the blessings of this generation to the next generation by saving the country and pretty much dispelling the propaganda that is being thrust upon you with the force of 1,000 suns. Guys, we are about to walk through some really fun episode right here. We got everything from dim civil war breaking out. We've got some stuff that's uncomfortable that no one wants to talk to you about. And then, of course, at the very end, the Republicans have just decided to go for the jugular at the whole sanctuary cities thing. This is going to be an episode you're going to enjoy. So as you get in here, of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We are here every single day, multiple times a day. So if you're here to save the country and you're tired of being lied to, or just blackpilled or doom and gloomed, this is the place for you. Delivering facts and propaganda slaying with a smile and a little bit of humor, and sometimes, just sometimes, directly over target. All right, people, listen. This is going to be an amazing one, so make sure audio video is good. Looks like we are off to the raking. Oh man, we are raking? We are off to the races, and we are going to have an excellent live show. Remember, per standard rules on this live stream, every single one of you is deputized. So when the very loyal lefties that we have wander into the chat, whether it's completely and totally copying, pasting things all over the place, or being antagonistic as our constable does, always respond with love and vigorous amounts of freedom. All right, you guys got that under control. I got the front side. We are going to have a great time. Everything is going to be amazing. Again, comments, chats, emojis, all your engagement makes the world go round, because let's face it, the notification bell is being a dill hole this week. So the more you engage, the more you get him off his mom's couch. Okay, comments, here we go. Chats, emojis, whoop, gotta spell that right. Emojis make the world go round. All right, you guys know the rules. Once it's in, once it's pinned, we are off to the races. Per usual operating procedures, SOPs, as it were. We always start off with a whole lot of either whoa or a different kind of like whoa, like where it's like, oh, that was stupid, or like, oh my God, you guys might be actual crazy. Yeah, it's more the latter on this one. Early bird gets the worm. Those of you, patriots, one and all, who got here early, get to see the full-on crazy. Okay, so, progressives, you've seen their work. You're familiar with what they do. This is a good one. So, Emma Vigilant. I still don't know how to say her name right. It doesn't matter. Emma. What would you call an opposition party leader pursuing an indefensible, genocidal policy that a broad majority of the party's base opposes vehemently? One that narrows their coalition in a moment when building an anti-fascist resistance is existential. A fascist collaborator. Yeah, by the way, she's not talking about Donnie Trump. She's not talking about DJT. She's talking about the leader of the Democrats. Now, the reason that this is so important is it reinforces something that I consistently tell you. The progressives are going to hollow out the Democrats like a parasite does the host. I mean, like, you can take your pick, but they're trying to take over, like straight up like Goa'uld from Stargate 1, SG-1. Okay? They're trying to like attach to the brainstem and basically take over the Democrat Party. I've shown you, it's well documented, it's all over my X account. You can follow me on X at Braden LOA if you'd like. But let's get into the nuts and the bolts. We've got to figure out why Emma up here, who is one of the progressive hosts on the left, feels the need to call Chuck Schumer a fascist collaborator. You know, because that's normal. Here you go. This is why. This is why right here. That, oh my God, the gall that this man had. Watch this.
Fight for aid to Israel, all the aid that Israel needs. I will continue to fight for it. And we delivered more security assistance to Israel, our ally, under my leadership than ever before. We will keep doing that, everybody. It is
you
so
think you know a guy. You do.
To give Israel what it needs and to protect itself from the many in that difficult region who want to wipe Israel off the face of the map.
So just so you guys know, that right there, give money to Israel, you're a fascist collaborator. Anyone want to point out the irony of that historically? Anybody? Chats? Comments? Go nuts. Just throwing that out there. All right. Again, Emma up here. Let me just show you who she is. This is the majority. She runs the Majority Report with a guy named Sam Cedar. And like, seriously, I told you on a previous episode, These guys literally call in and they call themselves "Hello, comrade." I mean, they address themselves like comrade. Like that's the actual language they use. The Democratic Socialist of America, all these different socialist chapters. Like it is not for the faint of heart. Okay, that is what makes them a fascist collaborator. Nothing concerning there. Don't worry, everything's just fine on Leftyville. All right, we're going to keep on trucking. That was just the opening salvo. We are just now getting started. We have 1,200 people in here to start the show off. Thank you guys so much for being here. Of course, if you're tardy to the attendance, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and hit that comment, chat, and emoji, because let's face it, notification ain't doing it for us, so someone might as well. All right, let's get into this, guys. This is the part where we spill the tea, as the kids say. There seems to be a little bit of a shenanigan, kerfluffle, if you will, happening in the Democratic Senate race for the primary in Texas. In fact, it's devolving to the point where they're calling each other racist all the time, and one party is trying to benefit while one party who already quit is making all the accusations, and then the other's on the defense. It just so happens that the one on the defense is the moderate Dem because the progressives eat their own. Just saying, grab your popcorn. This is going to be great. Okay, here we go. Tim Miller, who is a lefty on X, and he's just the model of masculinity now for the Democrats, who made a Democratic campaign in Texas a referendum on race and sexuality. Says the Democrat. I'm not going to say it. Should I say it? I mean, that's like standard operating procedure. That's like literally on the book on how to be a Democrat. Step 1, pander. Step 2, code switch. And step 3, go if all else fails, break glass, use race card or sexism card. That's literally like the top 3 choices. And then they're surprised when the progressives use it on the moderate Dems who are kicking their butts. Okay, I'm shocked. That is effing idiotic, and that person should be banished from electoral politics. Here's an idea: campaign on cost and Ken Paxton being corrupt. Now, of course, he's talking about another Democrat who posted this. This race has turned into a referendum on the idea that Dems need to center straight white men post-2024, both policy-wise and in terms of candidates. Not saying that's fair. You see what's happening, guys? The virtue signaling litmus tests are coming back to bite the Democrats right in the gonads. It's not good. It's not pretty. But don't worry, there's a lot more for you because, guys, this is how they roll. And did you know? Seriously, like we're just gonna like steamroll through this. Did you guys know that the Democrats are done with woke policies? And did you know also that they are actually going to take the mantle of the patriotic and the country loving and the flag wearing? Did you know that? Because I mean, like that's what we're about to read. Turns out there's a big secret plan in the Democrat Party to out patriot MAGA. That's like trying to out wet water. I'm not sure that's going to work. Anyway, I want to show you what's going on here. This is very interesting that when the liberals are figuring stuff out. Like it's like nature evolving by itself. I've had some time to think about the infighting inside the Texas Democratic Party and increasingly shameless attempts by Crockett's campaign to tear down the opposition. I mean, I for one am shocked. Shocked, I tell you. What's becoming clear to me is that it isn't just petty campaign drama. It's a symptom of a much larger coalition shift underway in the Democrat Party. Now, keep in mind, this is really important, so please stay with me. Let me hear if I'm landing this plane in the comments, okay? You and I, in reality world, also recognize that there's a coalition shift underway in the Democrat Party. The coalition shift is to the far left woke progressive psychos who are the only ones left. That and childless cat women. That's about it. Objectively, according to the demographics and voting blocks, that's all they got, right? Far left wackos, and then you got the cat ladies, okay? So, what you're talking about here is a coalition shift, all right. But listen to what they're saying the coalition shift is. That's where this gets interesting and kind of fun, to be honest. Crockett and Allred's attacks on James Tallarico rely heavily on identity politics framing. No, stop. What do you mean? Including accusations of racism and the suggestion that Tallarico has crossed some unforgivable moral Rubicon. Again, this is like thesis number 1 in the Democrat playbook. Anyway, let's keep it going. Truthfully, this kind of attack, even if based on the same level of unsubstantiated rumors, would have been a death knell in the peak years of Woke 1.0. 1.0? What is woke 1.0? And are we in 2.0? Don't worry, I'm going to show you what 2.0 is. And sure, part of it's likely tactical. Because Crockett did it, of course. Crockett is trailing Tallarico in the polls and can't match his fundraising. So when in doubt, just call him a racist. But I think it also reflects anxiety from parts of the old Democratic coalition as they watch the ground shift beneath them. The emerging Democratic coalition will be more ethically and economically diverse. What the hell does ethnically and economically diverse mean? Okay. But less captive to identity politics. Yeah. Let's start weaning you off the morphine now and watch the withdrawals just like freaking collapse on the floor. Because that's kind of like removing like literally 50% of the tactics. Just saying. It will include people of color and Hispanic voters alongside a growing block of suburban white voters. It will reclaim American iconography. Okay. And openly embrace things long seated to the right, like Christianity, patriotism, the flag, and the Constitution. I want whatever this guy's smoking. Holy crap. They're going to take over Christianity, patriotism, the flag, and the Constitution. That rules out 99% of their entire Democratic platform. That's not the Democratic Party. They're just moving into the Conservative Party. Like, that's not Democratic at all. The Democrat Party, let's go down the list. Christian, ooh, nope, that's a nope. Patriotism, how dare you be an imperialist. The flag, oh my God, it offends me. The Constitution, oh, it's an old document written by old white guys and they were slave owners. How are you going to go from that to that? I mean, my God. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm just way off the cliff. You can tell me what you guys think. Because this is actively happening right now. I'm just walking you through. Now, there are a lot of Democrats who would rather let a Republican win than support a fellow Democrat who only agrees with them 95% of the time. These are all lefties, right? This is what I was telling you. They're eating their own. Yeah, days after someone claiming that someone affiliated with Crockett's campaign was trying to push opposition research to influencers, Allred claims Tallarico called him a mediocre black man, which I personally was offended by, and I cried at least with 4 puppies. There was a lot of therapy session I had to get through after I watched that video. I was very, very incensed. I was offended on behalf of others. That's what it was. Not a good look for the Crockett campaign here. They all know. Guys, they all know. Crockett did this because she's getting her butt kicked. That's exactly what happened. Hold on, I got to get to these 2 super chats real quick because I don't want them to go away. Because if I miss them, I feel real bad and I feel guilty, and that's not a good look. Anyway, David Hughes with a $9.99. If the Democrats are moving more conservative, they should start agreeing with legislation we want to pass. See? You get it? That's a brilliant idea. Again, I won't hold my breath. Patriotism, Christianity, the flag, and the Constitution. Oh. Okay, what are you going to tell me next? That they're going to know what men and women are? Okay. I'm feeling a little spicy. I don't have my jacket on. Mark Daly with a $5 super chat said, ever see a nature video where an anaconda and a crocodile go after each other? This reminds me of that. Pass the popcorn. Absolutely pass the popcorn. You guys are nailing this. Oh, man. Did Constable arrive? Oh, man. If Constable's here, that is amazing. Excellent. Welcome to the party, Constable. As always, if you get a rank, you mean a lot to us. You'll get there. You'll get there. Just keep on tuning in every single episode. Prepper003, $10 super chat. Hey, Braden, I know you were optimistic, but given the GOP's past performance in 2022 and recent elections, I have a feeling I'm going to like this super chat. How can you be so sure they can keep the House, as it seems they always fumble an easy win? Prepper003, that is an excellent question. Here is my answer, and I'm going to do it off the cuff. We're going to go big screen, and then I'll get right back to the Civil War that's happening in Texas. A lot less Alamo, a lot more. I'm offended. I can never guarantee that someone's going to win a House. I can never guarantee the Democrats will win. I can never guarantee the Republicans are going to win. What I'm trying to give you in all of my videos that I do, I try to give you the state of play on the ground of things that people are not telling you, right? They're telling you one side of the story, which is tremendously bad for the Republican side or the Trump side or the administration side, right? I'm never going to tell you, hey, you know what? Doesn't matter what happens. We're going to win regardless. That's impossible. I can't tell you that. And if I did, honestly, I would be doing you a disservice and lying flat to your face because I can't know that. Here's what I do know. And this is honest to God, a little bit of a confessional, a little soapbox, if you will. I know for a fact that the people who love this country, the people who are passing the blessings on to the next generation, the people who take all the woke insults and woke yelling and all the wokeism that was injected upon us for the last 4 to 5 years, I know the people watching this video care about something bigger than themselves, and I know they're not going to stop. I know our country is destined for a greater future from here forward. Do I know if the Democrats are going to win the House or not? No, I don't. But I do know that all of the trajectory and all of the trends that are happening in our country are amazingly beneficial for the right side of the political spectrum. We're having children; they aren't. People are leaving blue states and blue cities; they're going to red states and red cities. Everything is switching. The Electoral College in 2030 is going to go heavily favoring the Republicans. Democrats are going to have to pull magic out of their hats every single time. It's going to happen. It's not even an if; it is going to happen at this point. Then you've got the House, the Senate, and the White House right now in Republican control. The Supreme Court is in conservative control. You've got all these different pieces that are all lining up. You've got lots of weakening of the bureaucracies. You've got lots of weakening of immigration. You've got lots of deportations. You've got lots of interest rates going down. Money's going, or cost of living is going down. You have housing going down, rent going down. All of these things, gasoline is going down. All of these things are happening. That's how I know. I know the destination is going to be great, and I know you guys are grinding with me the whole way through. Sure, you might take a loss, but the quality of a win doesn't mean that if you lose, you give up. That's why I'm so hard on black pillars and Chicken Littles. Deal with it. Come on, we got stuff to do. Anyway, that's my thought. Amazing point though. Let's keep on getting back to this. Thank you guys so much for that super chat. It was a great one. Great job. 003. I don't remember your handle. Sorry. All right, let's keep on trucking. But I hope that answered that question. Let me know if I land the plane in the comments, chats, and in emojis per usual. And if you're new here, you're one of those roving lefties, stay a while. I invite you to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And fair warning, this is my trap. I collect all the lefties in the chat, and because you guys are so due diligent to come in here and tell me I'm wrong every single time I do a live stream, eventually you will be convinced and you will become into the good side. You will leave the Sith and you will join the Jedi. It's going to happen, only a matter of time. Looking at you, Constable. We got this. All right, let's keep on trucking. We're still in the Civil War, by the way. Sorry. Woo! Big old rabbit trail. Texas Democrats should be riding off the high after flipping that Texas State Senate seat in Tarrant County. Instead, they're mired in a petty squabble thanks to a random TikTok video accusing Tallarico of calling Allred a mediocre black man without any sourcing. Again, I was deeply offended. I mean, like the amount of time I had to spend with goats just for therapy, it was whoa. It was a lot of them. It was crazy. Had to talk it out. A lot of hugs. Look, even Politico is getting involved. Check this out. A mediocre comment has put Tallarico's Texas Senate campaign in the hot seat. I'll tell you what. Yeah, it's weird they would choose that picture for the thumbnail of that article, wouldn't it? Isn't it? Because, this guy over here on the left is the front runner. He's the little boy wonder for the establishment Democrats. And you see the woman right over here in the background, kind of out of the focus? Yeah, that's Jasmine Crockett. See, Jazzy right here. Jazzy is the chosen one for the progressives. She will be the nominee because she is virtuous. She is politically pure. She hangs out around with drag queens in Texas. What could go wrong with that? Here's the secret, guys. The establishment Democrats, all the Democrats in power, every single person knows that Jasmine Crockett has a lesser chance because she's too far to the left for Texas. She's too far to the left for Georgia or North Carolina or, honest to God, probably even Michigan. But Politico, the lefties, they want her in. So they're going to run this ad against Tallarico. See how this all works? You are not progressively pure enough. Therefore, you must be ousted. Re-education camp for you. All right, let's keep on trucking. I've got even more. Another lefty. Congrats to the GOP winning the Texas Senate race thanks to Democratic mudslinging. And finally, Ted Cruz and Ken Paxton are celebrating this. Good effing work, Colin, talking to the Democrat who felt like he was insulted by being called a mediocre black man in an Instagram video. Again, I was offended, and I hope there is a full apology. God, guys, watching them eat their own is the greatest. All right, super chat for EHEF4868 with a $5. I think midterms are going to be the normal. One side is a slim majority, and they spend more time fighting than doing anything. That is a excellent assessment. I mean, Really solid. Really solid. The next segment, actually, after we go into this break right here and we kind of do a little bit of a recap, we're going to go into that and I'm going to show you some things which are going to point in a very specific direction. Hey, guys, would you believe, I know, don't tell anybody, especially the roving lefties in our chat over there. Don't tell them, but Biden was more unpopular at his point in the term than Trump is right now. But don't tell them that because they won't like that very much. All right, we're going to have a hell of a lot of fun. This is going to be a great time. We got another super chat from Mark Daly with a $5 super. Saw a poll the other day that had a generic ballot at Dems +4, but among those who hear Dems want to defend ICE, it's dead even. Defund ICE is what he meant to type there. Yeah, it is. I'm going to show you the polling in a second. I got all of it torn together for you guys. I toil to bring you stuff that no one else will tell you. Another super chat from Fred Samuel, $10. The midterms are going to be won by whoever spends the most as usual. Fred, you are getting in front of my show. I feel a little bit like my toes being stepped on and my thunder stolen. But I love you all the same because you're one of the regular viewers. But that is something that we're going to hit in 1 second. Guys, listen, the last thing I'm going to say, wait a minute, Braden, don't take pleasure in the Dems losing. It's unholy and ungodly. Nope, it's amazing and it's incredible. Sorry. Nope, that one I'm full stamp. Full stamp. Even if we lose, I'll still be like, meh. All right, let's get it. Oh, man. Dave Rachelson said that, see, this is why I love my audience, because you guys are playing along. This is the Constable Autumn. You know you want to. You're drawn to the light side. Dave Rachelson says, Autumn, we appreciate you. You really want to be a MAGA supporter, and you love being the victim of our comments. Oh, guys, as long as we're having fun and we're all in good faith, it is a great time here. Even the lefties are welcome. Because, although I'm fair warning, Constable, you're probably not going to like this next tab. You've been warned. Oh my goodness gracious, would you look at that? This is the part where I just start telling you stuff. Now, if you saw my last video about 3 hours ago, this was one of the main points, because for some reason, I don't feel like this is something that they'd want to tell you a whole lot about. President Trump's approval rating is at 50%? Wait a minute. That means that it's positive. Now, I'm going to show you all the aggregate of polls. I'm fair. I'm not going to be cherry picking. I'm not a lefty. But that's interesting. Let's keep on going. Let's see if we can find some more here and we can really get to the bottom, the crux of the issue, as it were. See, now we're getting the juice flowing now, guys. Donald Trump approval rating, Insider Advantage is another X source. Let's keep on trucking. Then I'm going to show you something I find extremely fascinating. Oh my God. You know, you try to tell them. You try to give them a heads up, but sometimes it just pops up on screen. Donald Trump's net approval is -7 today. 4 years ago, Biden's was -20. I'm pretty sure -29 is worse than -7. Is it still? Why don't you guys tell me over here in the comments in the chat, and we can make sure we're on the same page, because I'm pretty sure that -29 for the short-circuiting robot is worse than Donald Trump's at -7. But who am I to say that? All right, another super chat right over here with Chad Storms, $2 super chat. Says, I believe it's called Defunct ICE. It could be. They're not going to do either one, but maybe. Perchance. All right, let's keep on trucking. Oh, let's keep on. Oh, man, you guys are having fun. You guys are having fun. I'm loving it every second of it. Love the comments. All right, now let's keep on going, because this is really important stuff right here. I'm going to show, I told you, I'd show all of it. I'd show you every bit of it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you everything that's happening. Now, what we're looking at here is Real Clear Politics, okay? Real Clear Politics, I like to reference and use because it shows you the aggregate of all polls. It doesn't just show you a cherry-picked poll that the left will do, or the right will do, or the middle will do, or the DSA will do, or the whatever, or the commies, whatever. It shows you all of them. And this is where he's sitting right now with all of them. 54 disapprove, 42.9 approve at a spread of -11.3. Now, right now is the point where all the lefties will be like, I told you, he was toast. Everyone hates him. You might as well kick rocks and go eat dirt. Because a -11.3 is unheard of. It's horrible. It is awful. Trump is evil. He's a fascist. He's a dictator. He's an autocrat. He's all of the things. And you're pretty close to doing it too if you supported him through this whole thing. But Then reality strikes, and I pull up something from last president. Oh my goodness gracious. That's President Biden's job approval numbers. Let me just help you out here, guys. I'm just going to put that right there. Whoa, scoot that over. Hold on. Minus 18.1. Maybe we can go back. Maybe I got the number wrong for Donald Trump over here. 11.3. Minus 11.3. Minus 18.1. Minus 11.3. Minus 18.1. I'm pretty sure, if my math still serves, minus 18.1 is worse than Donald Trump at 11.3 minus. I'm just saying. And also, I would like to bring something else to your attention. This goes towards the super chat that I had a moment ago about the congressional vote and midterms and all those things. Same caveat. I'm going to work my butt off either way. We're going to grind like we're losing. We're going to vote like we're losing. And we're going to work like we're losing. And we're going to share and spread these pieces of content like we're losing. That's what we do. However, it is interesting to note this little piece. Right now, you have the 2026 generic congressional vote. Again, this is the aggregate of polls. This is not a cherry pick poll. This is the aggregate of polls. Everything's linked in the description. I always bring receipts. Democrats right now have a plus 4.8. Now, 4.8 is just over the built-in bias for the Democrats. So they have an advantage. And full transparency, the amount of times that a sitting president has kept the House in his party when he's had all three in the last 100 years, I think it's 2. I think it's 2 times out of the last 100 years. So by nature of just being Americans, we always switch, with the exception of 2 out of 100. Okay, 98%. Come on. Anyway, this is something, that's why when the lefties are like, we're going to destroy you by taking the House, I was like, you mean you're going to follow historical norms? Okay. Anyway, keep on going. That was 2026. This is 2022. This is when Joe Biden was the president. And this is why I want to show you this, because this is the midterm that you're looking at in 2022, right when he lost the House by like 1 or 2 House votes. Okay? Everyone going into that election, everyone, was saying that it was going to be a red wave. It was going to demolish the Democrats. There was going to be nothing left. The entire thing was going to be gone, and Joe Biden has led them to utter destruction at a plus 2.8 going in. Well, actually, the final results were 2.8. Going in, it was 2.5. They got 2 House seats, and they took the House by like 1 or 2 seats. So with the Republicans having an advantage of 2.8, which is, again, overcoming the built-in bias, it's about even with the Democrats right this second. So this whole blue wave thing that they're talking about, everything that is indicating from past performance and current performance that it's going towards 1, 2, or 3 House seats. Now, I cannot guarantee that. I'm just telling you, in perspective and objective reality, that is what has happened in the past, and that is what is trending right now. Not this whole blue wave thing, because that's not where you're indicating. That's not where everything is indicating. What everything is indicating is either narrow control retains to the Republicans or narrow control goes to the Democrats. It's not going to be a blowout either way, which is the nature of the gerrymandered politics of our society. We have like 17 to 20 seats that are up in the air, and that is before the Supreme Court rules on the whole forced civil rights gerrymander district, Section 2 of the Civil Rights Act. Because if they switch that bad boy around, that's 12 seats immediately swapped. Immediately. That's going to be a problem. Anyway, let's keep on trucking. I got one more of these for you. This is the 2018 congressional generic vote. Notice a difference here? Because this is Donald Trump's first term, and Donald Trump's first term with the midterm, plus 7.3 for Democrats. If you go back to the 2020, where'd it go? 2022? No, wait. No, sorry, 2026. I'm trying to get mine. I'm trying to find mine. Man, come on, where'd it go? There we go. Right now, they are underperforming themselves in 2018. So if you look at this at plus 4.8 in 2026 right now, and then you compare and contrast that to 2018 when they took the House from Donald Trump, they're cutting it by about half. About 50% underperformance from where they were in 2018. That is all very important. But all that to say, you got to grind like you're losing, you vote like you're losing, and you leave everything on the field. It's that simple. I'm going to show you the propaganda that is being displayed, and I'm going to destroy it from orbit because it just pisses me off, quite honestly. Lying and hypocrisy are really irritating to me, which is why I source everything in the description box below. But what we're going to go to next If I can actually remember what we're going to go to next, because I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah. We're going to go to something else that you guys need to know. And by all means, if you're enjoying the show, let me know in the comments, the chats, the emojis. Of course, if you were new here, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We are here like 3 times a day. We got shorts, we got live streams, we've got videos, we've got all of it. All meant to make the country better and save it from those pesky lefties. And we'd love to have you join the party. All right, let's keep on trucking. There we go. All right. This I touched on also. These next few little clips I touched on in my previous video because I want to show you the state of play right now. It's not as simple as what everyone's giving you. Okay, I've picked and chosen a few pieces from my video that I did a couple hours ago in case you missed that video. Cash on hand per latest Federal Election Commission filing. This is the FEC snapshot. I want you to pay close attention. I don't care who's screaming at you in the chat. I don't care what the left is saying. I don't care what the politicians are saying. I don't care any of that. Pay attention to this piece, please, and send this one out. Clip it if you want. Send it. Enjoy. GOP cash on hand is $694 million. Democratic cash on hand is $167 million. Now, that's across all candidates. That's across all individuals. That's across everything. The numbers we've been showing are the DNC versus the RNC prior. This is everyone. Okay, this is the whole ball of wax. The GOP-aligned committees hold a substantial lead over Democratic committees. In the 2022 midterms, guys, please, God, pay attention to this part. This is pivotal. In the 2022 midterms, 93.65% of House races and over 82% of Senate races were won by the top spender. Let me say that number again, 93.65. So out of 10 races, 9.3 were won by the person with the most money. Who has the most money by about 4 times? 3 times? 3.5 times? I'm just saying, this whole it's all over, it never existed, it's fake Fugazi. Yeah, this is important. 93.65%. You haven't heard that anywhere else. In 2024, that grip tightened. 94% of House and 88% of Senate winners outspent their opponents. Pause for dramatic effect anywhere? It kind of puts it in a little bit of different perspective when you're looking at the actual reality versus what they want you to believe, isn't it? Because 93.65 and 94% of the House, I'm putting my money on that. And 88% versus 82% in the Senate, that feels pretty comfy too. Can never guarantee an outcome, but when you're saying that that's the amount of money, or excuse me, that's the amount of percentage that wins over the least spender, and the Republicans have $700 million and they have $200 million, y'all, I'm never going to predict the future, but damn. All right, let's keep on trucking. Here's some more things that are going to dispel all these things. Oh man, did I miss anything fun in the chat? I'm make sure I haven't looked over here. Oh man. Yeah. It looks like you guys got this. Okay, cool. All right, let's get it. And Kenneth, I'm sorry to hear that, Kenneth. That is sad. Sorry about that, buddy. All right. Breaking out of Pennsylvania. The GOP is now within 43,000 active voters from surpassing Democrats. If Pennsylvania flips, it will be next to impossible for Democrats to win national elections. That is before the Electoral College changes in 2030. Y'all, if everything was going the way that they were all telling you on the media, all the paid punditry on X, and all the people on Twitter or X or Instagram, all these talking heads who are being paid to dish out propaganda nonstop, if it was really true what they were saying, A, they wouldn't have to pay for it, and B, would that be happening? You want more evidence? Because Pennsylvania is a swing state. Here's North Carolina, also a swing state. North Carolina party registration, R plus 12,000, Democrats plus 8,000. Overall advantage, Republicans, 117,000 people. Swing state. Guess where there's a Senate race this year? Swing state, North Carolina. Y'all, all I'm saying, if all the things they were telling you were true, we wouldn't be seeing any of these things. I wouldn't be talking about any of these things, but the reality is we are, and they are. Super chat from Mark Daly, $5. Dem donors have to save their money for legal bills with the Epstein list out. I don't even want to touch that one. All right. So here's the thing. I've done this video a couple times in 2 different videos. I'm not going to do it again. I'm just going to give you the high level here. You are not out in the cold. You are not crazy. You aren't living in a van down by the river. You're not a psychopath wandering the streets just trying to look for normal. You're in good hope with everybody else. 83% of the population wants voter ID. 83%. For 83% to be that number, you have to pick up Democrats too. You have to pick up Democrats, you have to pick up independents, and you have to pick up Republicans. 83%. And it's increasing from 2018 now. 7 percentage points more. It's continuing to go up. You're not crazy. You're not a fascist. You're not a mean old MAGA head. You're not a jackass. You're not an autocrat. You're not any of those things. You're not a jackbooted thug. Any of the words they want to call you. You are literally in 83% company. I'm telling you guys, they're forcing propaganda on you unlike anything you've ever seen. That's what's happening. And I really try to show you guys something counter to that narrative. And speaking of countering that narrative, let's dive into this. Did you guys know this? I tell you what, this is weird. Sometimes you just swing into the air and you hit gold. And this would be one of those Harvard Harris polls. Watch this. See that one at the very bottom, right down here? You know, that little number right there, 51%. Again, stay with me, 51%. Yeah, that response is on responding to the anti-ICE protest in Minneapolis in the approval of Trump. His highest ranking part of the entire Harvard Harris poll, from reducing cost of government, returning America to his values, tariffs and trade policies, administering the government, foreign affairs, immigration, and the economy. He's got immigration at 46%, but the way that he has handled the ICE riots in Minneapolis is at 51%. Come here real quick. Again, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you a second ago. How could he be the most evil administration, the most evil, unpopular, most hated? Everyone is despising the ICE stuff. Everyone's despising the deportations. Everyone hates everything. It's horrible. How could he be at 51% approval on handling the immigration issues in Minneapolis, like the ICE conflict, at 51% if that were true? By all means, tell me over here in the chat. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm talking to 3,200 people right now and I'm just making stuff up. But does that seem like it tracks with reality? Honestly, does it track with anything? Any of the blackpilling, any of the doomsday, any of the chicken littling? Does it make any sense at all? Because to me, when you're looking at 51% that say, hey, good job, Trumpy, with all the propaganda we've seen around it, y'all, something is not like they're telling you. Anyway, got a couple more super chats real quick. Got to get to these. I owe you guys all the due diligence. Toymaster with a $3 super chat. Give the first ever super chat for that account. Thank you very much, with a dancing lemon, which I support. I support that very much. EHF with a $5 super chat says, ID is one of the few things government makes easy to get. If you can't figure out how to get voter ID, you shouldn't be voting. You know, everyone can seem to get an ID when it's something they want. I'm just going to throw that out there. You know, just pretty easy. Anyway, let's keep on trucking. We got so much propaganda to dispel in so little time. Golly, man, saving the country from itself. That's what you and I are doing right now. Support for deporting illegal immigrants in the United States, 61%. Whew, man, that's what we call a supermajority. And who's responsible for the supermajority? Because this is really important as well. Turns out that Republicans are 95 for it. Independents are plus 23. And the lefties and the Democrats are like, no, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home with my open borders. It's not going to work out. The way they are going about this is not going to work. And the whole, it's going to backfire, the Republicans are about to kick it into high gear, that's coming in 3 tabs, right about after this kind of stuff. They've made their entire play about how evil Donald Trump is for Minneapolis and the ICE raids, how evil the ICE raids, how deportation is getting rid of our neighbors, abducting people on the streets, and 61% of the people support doing it. Y'all, I'm not a mathematician. I'm really not. But it seems like a supermajority kind of sinks that whole narrative underwater, doesn't it? You guys let me know in the chat. I got another super chat over here. I believe I do, or I just didn't scroll down. I think I just didn't scroll down. It's okay. You guys can still tell me in the chat because this is like legitimately. See, Old Brown gets it. 61% is massive. Yes, it is. It's tremendously massive. It's wild. You can't get 61% of people to agree that the sky is blue. But sure as shit, support for deporting illegals all day. ID, voter ID, 83%. What? Okay. All right, maybe there's more of it here. There is more here. I'm just going to keep on pouring it on. Just bury it at this point. And this one ties into what the Republicans are about to do, because you're going to see something in a second you guys are going to like. Hang in there. Do you think that the local officials should hand over to immigration authorities criminals in jail who are here illegally, or should state and local officials not turn them over for criminals for deportation? I struggle every time I try to read that sentence because it's a terrible sentence. Anyway, hand over. 67%. 67%. We're now beyond deportation. We're now in the hand them over phase of 67. We're beyond supermajority. Again, I want to re-emphasize, you're not alone. The other side is just insanely propagandistic right now. Here, let me dive into this real quick. Look, it's the same stuff. Even 50% of Dems are like, yeah, sanctuary cities are stupid. 89% of the GOP, and then 62% of other. That is a game shut match. That is nail in the coffin. That is, let's keep going and talk to something else we have a prayer in. Honest to God, this is, you know what this is like? This is like when the left went down the road of men can be women and women can be men and men can get pregnant and women can have testicular cancer. This is like that. Like, it just doesn't play. Anyway, let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. I had to figure out a way to say women can get testicular cancer in this stream. And then, of course, here's the same thing that we talked about, but this is a little bit different with the 61% supermajority. This is about deporting those illegally in the U.S. back to the country of origin. I showed you the 61%. But I didn't show you independents plus swing voters. Y'all, swing voters are the ones, they're the golden goose. They're the ones you want. Swing voters on a plus 37 and then independents on a plus 23. If the Republicans make the entire campaign about immigration and the Democrats help them along with immigration via ICE, it's going to be bad for the Democrats. I'm here for it. I hope they do it. Because they did it with the affordability thing, and that didn't work out too well. They abandoned that like a sinking ship, but now they're on to ICE. But they're still trying to figure it out. But I think they're going to do ICE pretty hard. I think ICE is a pretty good one. They think it works for them. It's not working for them according to swing voters. They can be single, they can be married, I don't care. All right. And now we've come to the point where the last break, where we collect ourselves. We make sure that like button is hit, that subscribe button is on. You've joined the fold. You're sharing these videos out. You're commenting your chat. You're engaging with the emojis, because let's face it, the notification bell is a lazy bastard and he doesn't want to do anything. So the more you poke him, the more he will do it. So just keep on chatting, commenting, sharing, and he'll eventually get the message. It's kind of like when you raise rent on the kid who lives in your basement forever and then eventually gets more expensive than an apartment. Magically he gets an apartment. I know, it's a thing. All right, let's keep on going, people. We have got 3 of these clips to wrap this up. I'm being a little verbose, but you know what? It deserves it. This is important. I'm going to keep it going, because this right here, people, is what we came for. This is how this is going to backfire gloriously on the Democrats. Okay, so I'm going to take you right back. Actually, we're going to go big real quick. Set this up properly. You guys remember, oh my God, eons ago, like a week ago, when Donald Trump took Tim Walz, and Tim Walz was like, sir, you don't even need to put me over a barrel. I'll do it. I'll jump over the barrel, and you just let me know, right? Well, the demands that Donald Trump put forward were pretty simple. Hey, you got to give us the people in the jails. Hey, you got to start assisting ICE. Hey, deal with your rioters. And then, oh yeah, that little fourth one, get rid of sanctuary city policies for the Democrats. Oh, he meant it. Watch this. So Speaker Johnson is about to tell the Dems their move to dampen immigration enforcement is dead on arrival. The people voted for mass deportations, and that's not changing. No amnesty. Sorry. Here we go. Watch what he says, 22-second clip, and then I'll show you where they're going next, because they're targeting sanctuary cities. I told you it was worth the wait, but they're going after sanctuary cities, and I'm freaking here for it, because those things are trash. Anyway, listen to this guy.
We have to make sure we maintain the important parameters here. We can't go down the road of amnesty. You can't, in any way, lighten the enforcement requirement of federal immigration law. That's what the American people demand and deserve. We want dangerous, illegal criminals to be sent out of the country, and they've been very successful at that. But we have to make sure we maintain the...
All right, you guys get the idea. No, we're not doing amnesty, Chuck Schumer. Stop being drunk. Effectively, that's what it means. We're not doing that. All the things you want for immigration and ICE enforcement, that's not happening. And by the way, they passed this through the House today. Just letting you know. So the whole Democrat, like, we're not going to vote for it. We're going to stymie it. Yeah, it didn't work. Took another L. Anyway, let's keep on trucking. I got to get to the payoff here. This one is very interesting, but actually the big one's the next one. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's the one we want. We're going to wrap up with a bang. Now, this is Jake Sherman. This is a commenter that is very, very accurate. Johnson has just affirmatively said Congress cannot add new warrant requirements for federal immigration agents. Shocker. Weird. So he has said that he will not mandate officers take masks off and is opposed to warrants for federal officers. That's 2 of the 3 Democrat demands. Like duck hunt. There goes 2 of them. The DHS-CR, or the Department of Homeland Security Continuing Resolution in the House today, that thing that the Democrats were beating their chest over, and Hakeem Jeffries was like, not on my watch, and then they did it. If passed today, which it did, expires in 10 days, sounds like a deal is miles away. Now, here is the big payoff, and this is so important. So important, guys. Please, let me hear you in the comments in the chats if you want this to happen, because this is it. You get rid of this, and you pretty much defang a whole lot of power for the team lefty. Speaker Johnson, to me, just now, as he entered the conference about negotiating a Department of Homeland Security deal after today. Quote, next week and the week after will be intense. The 2 sides are pretty far apart. No, stop it. Really? Johnson on including sanctuary cities in the next round of negotiations. Sanctuary cities. I'm going to highlight this because this is important. Sanctuary cities. The same thing that Donald Trump said one of his demands of the Democrats was drop those pieces of crap. Here comes Speaker Johnson saying sanctuary cities are now a thing. Watch. Quote, if we're going to be discussing all of this and ICE operations, and part of that equation is how sanctuary cities have not been participating. In fact, they've been thwarting the efforts of ICE, and I think that has to be part of the discussion. Do you understand what that means? Let me walk you through this in political DC speak. I think that has to be part of the discussion. That means it's going to be part of the discussion. So right now, the Democrats have come to the table and they said, we want ICE out. We want to defund it. Well, the radical wing has said that. And then the moderate Democrats were like, guys, would you shut up for like 10 seconds? Like, we're trying to appear somewhat normal. And they're like, how about just warrants? Don't ignore them. How about just warrants and pulling masks off and like some body cams or something? Like, just give me something, right? And then the far lefties are like, fascist collaborator. I mean, like, honest to God, that's where we're at right now. But now the Republicans go, oh, you want to talk about ICE? Well, that's funny because we've had this thing that you guys have been down on for sanctuary cities for like a decade or 2 that are leading to the issues that we're having in our nation. So why don't we have that as part of the conversation? Uh-oh. That's where this is going to go next, because you saw President Trump demand it. Speaker Johnson just said that's part of the discussion. Where do you think that's going to go? This is going to be fun. Make sure you guys are here. We're going to have an amazing time together as we document all this, passing the blessings of this generation to the next generation, setting them up with an easier fight, but a fight nonetheless, because freedom must be defended at all costs. And I appreciate every single one of you for hanging here with me. We are at a 48-minute live stream. Kudos to all you guys. I love each and every one of you, just the right amount that makes you feel comfortable. And oddly enough, some people want me to love them more than makes them comfortable in the chat. I don't know why that is, but you know what? To each their own. And I want to see you guys tomorrow where we are right back on the grind, because this is important. It's bigger than ourselves. It's bigger than anything, because this is our nation and the freedom and the blessings that we have in this country that so many have died, sweat, blood, and tears for. And thank you guys so much for being here with me. I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. Later.